So this is the magnetometer. I love this thing. All right, let me show you what we got here. So I got my conduit all connected. So here's the old wire, here's the old sensor. So the new one comes in, pretty easy, 4 wires, plugs in. Because there's no false alarms. You know, I've had gate openers and stuff with like the laser beams and that, but when you live out in the country and you got tons of animals, the deer are always tripping it off, or dogs or whatever. So, all right, so let me show you what I had to do here. So it senses the metal and it triggers the gate to open. All right, let me show you how an automatic gate opener with a magnetometer works. All right, got my first scoop of dirt. Got my PVC pipe. I'm going to go take care of that gate sensor. Probably need a few loads of dirt, but I got it available from a ditch crossing I made, so should work out pretty good. All right, let me show you what we got here. So I got my conduit all connected. You could choose to bury this if you want, but since this driveway is built up plenty high, I'm gonna, instead of having to dig, I'm just gonna add dirt on top of it. So here's the old wire, here's the old sensor. They just had this buried in the ground, and that's probably what got it bad at some point. So the new one comes in right up underneath there. It's pretty easy, 4 wires, plugs in. Get everything locked up and you're good to go, and then we're gonna bury this. So that's my plan, I'm sticking to it. So before I'm gonna connect the wires, I'm gonna go ahead and get some dirt on here because it's gonna pull on this wire. I didn't bring any tape with, so I just wrapped this wire around, kind of cinched it in so that you don't yank your little tiny wires out when you put dirt on this thing. I'm gonna start up there by the front, get that kind of seated, and then I'll work my way back. Got a few roots to pick out of here. That's my plan. Let me get myself settled in here. All right, so let me show you what I had to do here. So this driveway sensor, the magnetometer, senses metal. And so you bury it next to the driveway, and then when a vehicle comes on the way out, it senses the metal and it triggers the gate to open. So I put it through a conduit here in this stretch, 20, 30 feet. And then I'm gonna bury it with dirt with the tractor, since I've got a 2-foot separation between the driveway and then the current grass level, if you will. So that's what I'm doing here, running it through conduit, getting ready to install the new magnetometer, the new driveway sensor. I'll tell you, that's a steep little drop off there. I mean, they really built up that road, which obviously is good, but I don't have a counterweight on the back, so my rear tire come off the ground a little bit. To be a little careful there. It's gonna take a little bit backfilling, but we'll get it done. It's a nice fence setup, really nice. So far, my wire is holding up where I wanted it. So that'll be it, shuffling dirt for a while till I hook it up. All right, let's check on the cable that I didn't yank it too tight. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you could run it all the way up for more security if you want, but I'll come and hand shovel and rake up in here. So this is the magnetometer. I love this thing because there's no false alarms. You know, I've had gate openers and stuff with like the laser beams and that, but when you live out in the country and you got tons of animals, the deer are always tripping it off, or dogs or whatever. So this thing needs to detect a large quantity of metal, basically. So an ATV, a four-wheeler will trip it, which is, you know, basically what you want, but animals won't trip it. A human walking across it will not trip it. So it's a good deal. All right, I'm on the last bucket load. This one's just going to be filling in low spots. And I got to go hook up the wire and pick some roots and rocks out of this dirt. And then maybe rake it and clean it up some. All right, here's a midstream look. Gotta pick all the stuff out of here and rake it. Making progress. All right, so here's the wires right here, the red. And then this one in the middle has 3 of them soldered together. And then the white. And then we close it back up and fire it up. All right, that's all the time I'm gonna put into it for today. Come back with a rake it down a little better. I'd love to just back drag it with the bucket, but you got obstacles. First of all, this driveway sits 2 foot higher. You got this, you got one of my cameras here. So it's gonna have to be done by hand, but it's right now it's gonna work just fine. All right, let me show you how an automatic gate opener with a magnetometer works. So I'm on the inside of my property now. The gate's closed. Okay, and so when I come up to the magnetometer that's buried, it's gonna sense the metal in my vehicle, and that's gonna trigger the gate to open. And then that basically, you can't like trick it, I guess. So you can't just come in and walk on it or wave a little piece of metal over it, because it needs you know, a lot of metal. So let me show you how this works. I'm gonna hit that magnetometer right there. And then once you're clear, it automatically closes. So you don't have to get out of the car or nothing. It's all automatic. Definitely a great deterrent for trespassing.